If you are watching this, you are likely in a stage of life where things have changed. The days are quieter now, the schedule is lighter, and for the first time in many years, you have time to think about yourself. Retirement can feel peaceful, but it can also feel confusing. After spending a lifetime working, caring for others, and staying busy, it is not always easy to know what to do with this new chapter. Some days feel calm and meaningful. Other days feel a little lonely or uncertain, and that is completely normal. What I have learned from speaking with many retirees across the country is that happiness in this stage of life is not about doing more. It is about understanding what truly matters to your heart. It is about choosing peace, connection, and joy in simple moments. In this video, we are going to talk about a few things that happy and content retirees avoid doing so they can protect their peace and emotional well-being. Before we begin, I would love to know something from you. Which state are you watching from? Just share it in the comments below. It helps us feel a little closer to each other. 1. Happy retirees don't stay busy just to avoid the quiet. One thing many people don't expect after retirement is how quiet life becomes. For years, your days were full. Work, family, responsibilities, errands, routines. Someone always needed something. The phone rang. The calendar stayed full. There was a rhythm. And then suddenly, the rhythm stops. The house feels quieter. The mornings feel slower. And that silence can feel a little strange at first. Many retirees try to avoid that feeling by keeping themselves constantly busy. They fill every hour with activities, appointments, or tasks. They say yes to every invitation, join every club, or start fixing things around the house that don't truly need fixing. It looks like productivity, but inside, it's often just a way to avoid sitting with one's own thoughts. But the happiest retirees learn something important. You don't have to earn your rest anymore. You don't have to prove your usefulness by staying busy. You have already spent decades giving, working, showing up for others. Now you are allowed to slow down without guilt. Learning to enjoy quiet moments is one of the greatest gifts of retirement. Start small. Let your mornings be gentle. Drink your coffee without hurrying. Take a walk without your phone. Sit on the porch and listen to the world as it is, not as it demands you to be. At first, silence may feel uncomfortable, but slowly it begins to feel peaceful. You start hearing your own thoughts again, and some of those thoughts may be soft, kind, and wiser than you expected. This is where you reconnect with yourself, not as a worker or provider, but simply as a human being. Being active is still important, of course, but being constantly busy is not the same as being fulfilled. When you stop running from silence, you begin to find yourself again, and that is where true happiness in retirement begins. 2. Happy retirees don't compare their life to others. There comes a moment for almost every retiree when they look around and wonder if they are doing enough. Maybe you hear a neighbor talk about their big vacation, or a friend who bought a new house in Florida, or someone showing pictures of a cruise. And even if you are content with your life, a small voice can quietly ask, "Should I be doing more too?" That feeling is very common. We live in a world where everyone shares the best parts of their lives. We see the highlight reel, not the real story, and it can make us forget what brings us joy. But the happiest retirees understand that retirement is not a competition. There is no prize for the most trips taken, the biggest house, or the most activities. Happiness in this chapter comes from knowing what matters to you personally. Maybe your joy is sitting on your porch with a warm cup of coffee. Maybe it is time with grandchildren, gardening, reading, cooking, or simply having quiet evenings with someone you love. These moments might not show up in a photo album or online, but they are meaningful. They fill the heart in ways material things cannot. Everyone's life looks different on the outside. Some people have more, some less, but no one's life is perfect. You never know the challenges someone may be carrying behind the scenes: health concerns, loneliness, stress, or worry. So comparing yourself to others is not only unfair, it is untrue. Your retirement does not need to look exciting to anyone else. It only needs to feel peaceful and fulfilling to you. Give yourself permission to enjoy your life exactly as it is. When you stop comparing, you begin to notice the beauty that was already there, right in front of you, all along. 3. Happy retirees don't hold on to old regrets. One thing many retirees are surprised by is how the past can suddenly feel closer than ever. When life slows down, memories have more room to show up. Some are warm and comforting, but others may feel heavy. Mistakes you remember, things you wish you had done differently, words left unsaid, time you wish you had spent better. These thoughts can visit quietly at first and then return again and again. It is natural to have regrets. Every person who has lived a full life has moments they would change if they could. But the happiest retirees understand something very important. You cannot build a peaceful present while holding on to a painful past. Regret can take away your joy today if you let it. It can make you feel like the best years are behind you. But that isn't true. You are still here. Life is still happening. You still have time to love better, to grow, to enjoy, to laugh, to forgive, including forgiving yourself. Sometimes healing begins with a simple conversation, talking to your spouse, your children, a friend, or even writing a letter to your younger self. A letter can be powerful. You can say, "I did the best I could with what I knew then," because that is often the truth. None of us were perfect. We learned as we lived. You can't go back and change the past, but you can change how you carry it. Instead of holding regret like a weight, you can set it down and choose to move forward with kindness toward yourself. Your life is not over. Your story did not end when you retired. You still have chapters left to write. And when you make peace with your past, you create space for joy in the days still ahead. 4. Happy retirees don't ignore their health just because they're done working. When retirement begins, many people feel they have finally earned the right to slow down. And they have. No more alarm clocks, no rushing, no deadlines, and that rest is important. But sometimes, without meaning to, rest turns into neglect. The body becomes stiff, the energy becomes lower, and small aches start to feel heavier. The happiest retirees understand something simple but powerful. Health is freedom. Not just physical health, but the ability to move, to get around on your own, to enjoy daily life without struggle. You don't need to become an athlete. You don't need gym memberships or complicated routines. What matters most are small, steady habits that respect the body that has carried you through every season of life. Even a short daily walk can make a difference. Some retirees start by simply walking to the mailbox and back, then around the block, then maybe to a small park. The goal is not distance, it is consistency. Movement keeps your joints awake. It keeps your heart steady. It keeps your spirit lifted. Eating a little lighter can also help. You don't need strict diets. Just more real foods, fewer packaged ones, more water, fewer sugary drinks, a little stretching before bed. These small choices don't just improve health, they improve how you feel when you wake up each day. Many people say, "I'm old now, what's the point?" But the point is exactly this stage of life. These years can be long, meaningful, and full of moments you don't want to miss. Staying active helps you be present for them. To play with your grandchildren, to enjoy walks, meals, holidays, simple joys with the people you love. Taking care of your health now is not about trying to be young again. It is about honoring the life you still get to live. 5. Happy retirees don't stop learning or creating. There comes a time in retirement when the days begin to feel familiar. The routine settles in: wake up, breakfast, a few errands, maybe TV, maybe a nap, then dinner and bedtime. There is nothing wrong with routine. It can feel comforting. But if every day starts to feel the same, life can begin to feel a little dull, as if something is missing. That something is often curiosity. The happiest retirees are the ones who never stop learning or creating, not to impress anyone, not to achieve anything big, but simply to feel alive inside. Curiosity keeps the mind awake. Creativity keeps the heart open. Maybe there was something you enjoyed when you were younger: drawing, music, cooking, gardening, building, writing, sewing. Or maybe there's something new you've always wondered about but never had time to try. Retirement gives you the one thing most people go their whole lives wishing they had: time to explore. This doesn't mean signing up for big classes or mastering new skills. It can be something very small: trying a new recipe, reading a type of book you've never read before, picking up a pencil to sketch without worrying whether it's good, asking your grandchild to teach you how to use a new app. Even learning one new thing a month keeps your mind flexible and your spirit bright. When you create something, even something tiny, you feel a spark. That spark is purpose. You remember that you are still growing, still learning, still capable of discovering new parts of yourself. Retirement is not the end of your story. It is the chapter where you finally have room to become who you always wanted to be. Stay curious, stay open, let yourself try. You might surprise yourself with what you still have inside. 6. Happy retirees don't avoid important conversations. Many people think the hardest conversations in life happen when we are young, raising families, or building careers. But the truth is, some of the most meaningful conversations wait for us later in life, after things get quiet. These are the conversations we tend to push aside because they feel emotional, uncomfortable, or heavy. Sometimes it's a conversation with a spouse about end-of-life wishes. Sometimes it's talking to your children about how you'd like things handled if your health changes. Sometimes it's reaching out to an old friend you lost touch with, or saying sorry for something that has weighed on your heart. And sometimes it is simply telling someone you love them while you still can. Avoiding these conversations may feel easier in the moment, but deep down, it leaves a small, constant worry in the back of the mind. The happiest retirees are the ones who choose peace over avoidance. They understand that love is not just expressed in memories, it is expressed in clarity, honesty, and responsibility. When you talk openly with your family, you give them a gift, the gift of not having to guess your wishes. You take away uncertainty and replace it with understanding. There may be a few tears or some silence, but afterward there is relief, a soft, calm kind of relief that settles the heart. And it's not just about planning, it's about connection. Sometimes calling an old friend and saying, "I miss you," is enough to heal a chapter you thought was closed forever. Sometimes saying, "Thank you for everything," means more than you realize. These conversations don't have to be dramatic. They just have to be honest. When you speak what has been sitting in your heart, you lighten your load. You make space for peace. And that peace is one of the greatest gifts of this stage of life. 7. Happy retirees don't forget to laugh. As we get older, life can start to feel more serious. We think more, we worry more, we remember more. We become careful, thoughtful, and sometimes a little too quiet inside ourselves. And somewhere along the way, many people forget how to laugh the way they used to, freely, easily, without overthinking it. But the happiest retirees make room for laughter. Not the polite kind, the real kind. The kind that makes your shoulders drop and your heart feel a little lighter. Laughter doesn't come from trying to be funny. It comes from being willing to see the small joys of everyday life. A grandchild asking funny questions about the olden days. A pet doing something silly. A story you've told 100 times that still makes someone smile. Even laughing at yourself when you forget where you put your glasses while they're on your head. Laughter is not childish, it is medicine. It helps the body relax. It softens stress. It brings people closer. It reminds you that life is still happening, still warm, still full of gentle surprises. You don't need perfect health, perfect plans, or perfect days to laugh. You just need to let moments be simple again. Let life be a little less serious. Turn on a funny movie instead of the news sometimes. Call the friend who always makes you smile. Let yourself be playful with your grandchildren. Allow joy to come in without pushing it away. A light heart does not mean your life has been easy. It means you are choosing to let joy stay even when life has been hard. And that choice, that small daily choice to laugh, is one of the clearest signs of a person who is truly at peace in retirement. Retirement is not just the end of a career. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where your time truly belongs to you. And the most peaceful retirees are the ones who understand that happiness in this stage does not come from doing more, having more, or proving anything to anyone. It comes from choosing what feels gentle and true to your heart. When you stop trying to stay busy just to avoid quiet, when you stop comparing your life to someone else's, when you let go of old regrets, when you care for your health with kindness, when you stay curious and keep learning, when you have the courage to speak honestly, and when you allow laughter back into your life, you create a retirement filled with peace. Your life still has meaning. You still matter. There is still joy here for you. You have earned the right to slow down, to love deeply, to rest without guilt, and to enjoy the simple, everyday moments that make life beautiful. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 7 points touched your heart the most today? And if you haven't already, tell us your state in the comments. It helps us feel like we're all sitting together, just talking, just sharing life. You are not alone. Your story is still unfolding, and there is still so much good ahead.